1987 Chevrolet. Alright, so I got a couple projects going on. Here's the 87 Chevy. Got the bed off of it. Me and Dad hooked the tractor up and took the bed off. Took the fuel tanks off. It wasn't getting no gas, so we first replaced the switch. This has double fuel tanks. So we first replaced this switch, and just to make sure that we were getting power to the back, we just went ahead and switched it just to be sure that there wasn't going to be an issue. And then Dad actually took the tanks off, dropped them off, and cleaned the frame up a little bit. I'll show you all the tanks. So it's got the double fuel tanks. That's actually the same tank. If you look at them, they're exactly the same. The only difference is whichever side you put it on. One's wider here than here. And you see both of them's like that. But we're going to try to eliminate the double tanks because we don't need two tanks. These are 20-gallon tanks, and we just don't really need two tanks. We might put the other one up underneath there later, but for right now we're not. But on the driver's side, the catalytic converter is in the way of the bolts that mount the gas tank to the frame. But so what happened today, went to the auto parts store to get a fuel pump. Here's the old fuel pumps. They're pretty rough. Went to the store to get one of these, and you have two different options for the, you got one for the passenger and one for the driver's side. But it was hard for them to get them, so we took what they could get the fastest, and I wish I wouldn't have done that because they actually gave me one that was, it was too long for one. It was too long, and all of this is different. All that's different on it. The one that we got, it had another hose coming out, and it showed as the same truck. It's actually a V10, but that's wrong. And so we're on our way back to the auto parts store now to get another one. '87 V10. It's old solid. It's a solid truck. The bottoms ain't messed up too bad. It's got one little place back here that I need to fix, and it's got one here on the bed that I need to fix. But that's the project for right now. Try to get that done. But it's coming along. So here is the issue with this pump. I mean, it's just ate up. It's ate up bad. Everything's ate up on it really bad. And the difference between these two, this is the new one that I picked up that was supposed to be for this truck. And if you notice, it's nothing alike. So, and actually, that's a lot longer from the bottom of the pump. So, that's an issue that we ran into on this one. And we're gonna go to the auto parts store and take this one back and try to get this one. And I'm not blaming anybody. I don't think it's anybody's really their fault. It's just the way it's put into the system. But we've got to run down and take this one back and hopefully get another one ordered. Hopefully to be in within the next day or two, and try to get that in this old truck. I've had this truck running. My dad messed with it and had it running, and from what we could tell, it runs good. The only thing that it does need is fuel, more fuel lines. We need to replace some fuel lines, and what else did it need? Let me think. Yeah, spit it out. You see him? He's a thinking now. What was I gonna say? We had to fix the frame a little bit. The frame had a little bit of rust on it. It'll run on gas if you just pour it in the throttle body. It'll run. Yeah, I kind of forget what I'm saying here at this point, so don't y'all laugh at me. A whole lot of cosmetic stuff. It don't need a whole lot. It's a pretty solid old truck. But we're gonna run down and see if we can get some stuff for it and try to get this whole truck going, and hopefully be able to drive it soon. I'd like to put a paint job on it at some point, but it ain't no emergency. I ain't trying to be in no hurry about it. But it's a pretty good old truck. All right.
So I painted this.
Well, I mean, and a lot of the reasons you want to put it over on this side too is because you got more room on the passenger side to get to it, right?
All the way around the truck to put gas in, but if you're not that lazy, you can handle that part of it. And I'll hook it up for just one tank.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a better
I gotta paint the rest of the frame. Put the bed back on. Ready to go.
The old tractor done good getting that bed off. We used the Ford 8N, lifted the bed off of it. Done pretty good.
It's a good idea to do a good job because you don't want to have to take the bed back off, which ain't a big job. It's people putting never sees on the boats. When they put them back together, they'll come back off easy.
Yeah, that metal in that bed ain't that thick really, that them bolts are kind of round off in the holes. And we had that issue too. The bolts kind of rounded off in the hole and had a rough time getting it out. But
these tanks left and right, but they're the very same, so you can put them over either side. You can look at them both and compare them, one on top of the other. It's the very same tank.
Now they were
very same hoses.
These are 16. No, these are 20 gallons.
Yeah.
The short bed was 16 gallon. But if you order a tank for your truck, well, for this is 87. If you order one for your 87, it's a long bed. It takes a 20 gallon tank, more than likely if it's got these doubles. They're not real high, but these tanks ain't in real bad shape, so we're gonna clean them up, paint them up, and see what we can do.
Right. We'll clean them out inside and out, paint them.
Let's head down there and get that pump straightened out. You want to? Forgot the fuel pump, and now we gotta run down here again.
Yeah, we gotta go back and explain to them head to toe what it is, where it is, what year it is, how old it is, what's wrong with it.
Did you write down the VIN number?
Yeah, I got it.
Glad he remembered. So we're running back down. We forgot the fuel pump, the old fuel pump, so we could.
The new one just happens to be the wrong one. If we keep running back and forth, we'll eventually get the right one.
But
the gas, $4, almost $5 a gallon.
Yeah, $6 a gallon.
They should give us a discount.
They should. Had to run back. Well, anyway, we had to run back because we forgot the old fuel pumps to compare to make sure we had the right ones. Well, I didn't. Dad didn't forget. I took the fuel pump and set it on the truck to compare on myself. I forgot to put it back in the vehicle, and we had to run back. But we're on our way now. Old rain. So sick of rain.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it don't matter where we go. Dad always tries to tell me how to drive. I just let him do it. It kind of cracks me up a little bit, but oh well. Never fails when we go somewhere. Dad decides he wants to throw that radio on the AM station. And all that noise and static about drives me nuts. But it's a good view. I got over it. Now, as we was coming down to the parking lot, I could see them looking up, looking at the truck. They knew what we was coming down for. I was just hoping they'd have what we need so we could get this thing put together.
Glad they're hiring. You gonna take it in? You want me to?
We're gonna take them in. Did you bring both of them? What's the difference between the left and the right?
How can it be a left and a right when they both alike? Did I bring? Oh, man, yeah.
Which one's the left and the right?
How are they left and right when they're both the same? Come on, get the box.
One's different than the other. One's got different.
Come on, get the box with. Come on.
So anyway, I sent Dad into the parts store, and I followed him in just to get to the counter and find out that our parts would not be until Tuesday. So, put a little snag in our plans, but oh well. We went ahead and got out of there and headed home and figured out a game plan to what we was going to do next. It's a lot of things on this truck we can be doing, fixing, messing with, before we get the fuel tanks put back in it. So we just headed on home and got to it. Pretty old mountains, ain't they?
They sure are.
It doesn't take Dad long to get back in a good mood again, and we talking about what we're gonna do next. Oh, it's cold. That's a good hunting spot. But this will be. I'll come back to this on Tuesday. Hopefully the parts will be in. They said they will be, and hopefully we can get this frame cleaned up. He wants to plug off the lines to the driver's side, mainly because it's hard to get to it. It's hard to get to the tank and all once you put the exhaust on. So if we have issues later on, we don't have to full moving the exhaust and everything to get to the bolts that mount the gas tank up. So it just makes more sense just to put the main one over here for now. If we decide later that we want to put two tanks, we can. But Kitty, you're on camera. Yeah, you don't care. But if we decide to put another tank on later, we can. But for right now, we're gonna put her on this side, and hopefully it'll come in Tuesday and we can finish it up. We hope. So that wraps up the video on this old truck for today, and hopefully, like I said 5 times already, hopefully they have that fuel pump in, and they treat us good down here at AutoZone, and I'm sure they'll get it in. It was just a computer error, I guess. But if y'all do one of these trucks, the long bed has a 20-gallon, if it's got the doubles like this one does, this one has a 20-gallon tank on both sides. The short bed model has the 16-gallon tanks. If that helps anybody. But I think I'm going to wrap this video up. But hey, if you like my videos, like and subscribe. Please, it helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate everybody that watches. And AmericanRootsOutdoors.com. Check out some of the stuff they got going on there. Alex Rutledge, I'm with that group, and great guy and great group of people, and got a lot of good stuff there. Merchandise there if you like hunting, if you like fishing, a lot of stuff. We got a lot of seed and stuff if you like planting food plots and stuff. Eagle seed, you can go through us and get a lot of that stuff too. But it's a lot of good stuff. But well, I'm gonna wrap up today on this 087, and we're gonna come back to it hopefully Tuesday and get back on it and get it done, and we can fire this thing up and let everybody hear what it sounds like. I guess the next step will be putting valve seals in it. It does need valve seals, we do know that. That's what I meant to say earlier on the video, and I couldn't think what I was even going to say. It does need valve seals, so we'll get them on here. A few other odds and ends on the truck. It's really not a bad truck. It's really in good shape, and we'll get everything straightened out and see what happens, and maybe we'll have a good truck to kind of cruise around in, pick up the ice cream on Sundays or just whatever. But I'm going to wrap this video up.